Hey y'all, it's Renegayde. Let's spill some reality on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. Season 7 is on, you lucky cows, so make sure you like and subscribe for more, as you're not going to want to miss a single drop of content this season. On this episode, it's time for the moment we've all been dreading, the Snatch Game. But did a twist on this regular format allow this season's cast to overcome with some explosive performances, or were we all just left edged with Drag Race RuPaul's? Let's talk about it. But before we dive in, let me introduce my co-host, and I'm glad he's joining us this evening, because otherwise I was just going to put a dress over the refrigerator with the door open so no one can notice that he was even going to be gone. It's QuackrrJack!
Hey, I'm so glad to be here discussing Caucasian Royale once again.
Oop, oop. Well, Jack, we are officially way over the halfway point this season.
Thank
Thankfully.
God.
Well, I mean, I guess that kind of answers my next question. But I was gonna say, I'm not sure how many of y'all know, but Jack and I actually don't watch UK together. It's the one series we don't usually watch just based during the week. We don't have time to watch together at the same time. So I'm very eager to hear Jack's opinions on our Thursday night podcast here, just as eager as you guys are. So I was gonna say, Jack, did this episode do anything to change your perspective on the season as a whole? But I think I got my answer.
Some bullshit.
I'm, I'm struggling though because this was an episode where it's I don't feel like I could blame it on production though. This was just a result where I was just not happy with what had happened, and I don't know. I guess looking back at it, and we're not gonna hide any spoilers. It's if you're watching this, obviously you've seen the episode. But it just feels like there was a huge miss with this whole storyline that they tried to produce this season between Bones and Page 3, given that how things end up. But well, maybe we could start at the beginning first here, because possibly there's a new rivalry to talk about here, Jack. And that is Bonnie and Clyde and Select's addiction. Because they got into it this episode. And by got into it, I mean they had a choice word for each other or two. But it's mostly just because Bonnie gives her opinion to Slexa that she feels like she did the worst in last week's musical, and Slexa says that she's fine with it, even though she just brings it up quite a bit, and that's kind of really what it is, that Slexa just kind of won't let it go. Did you feel like Slexa was really fine with it, Jack? 'Cause it felt like she was either bringing it up or bringing it up for camera time.
So I'm not sure if Celeste was bringing it up for camera time, but I will say if I hear a bitch talking shit about me behind my back, which is what I was interpreting the situation as to begin with, I'm bringing it up to in front of everyone's face and letting her know that I need her to tell me what it is right then and there. What I will say is that Alexa's clearly bothered by it, but I'm if you have something to say about my performance, say it to my face. That being said, does she have the best reaction to Bonnie giving her the tea? No. But I will say, if you do talk shit, and you're gonna someone's gonna find out about it. So be ready to back your shit up 100%. And what I think is so funny here was I was like, people were like, "Well, you're just not taking it well," and I was like, "Yeah," and you didn't feel the need to say it in front of me until I called you out. But go off. I think neither of them are in the right, if I'm being quite honest, because Bonnie felt that Celexa did the worst. I don't know how she got that feeling after what we watched last week. I'm not really sure how anyone got that idea about her doing the worst, but
Well, she was performing with Sally, so she didn't really get to watch Sally. She was performing with her, so she was probably more focused on herself than she was on Sally. So I get why she might not have noticed what Sally was
I
doing as much.
mean, but if you got the audacity to say, "Well, I think you did the worst," and you didn't see it, then what are you talking about? So, but if she did see it, and I mean, she was there with Sally. She heard the judges' critiques. I don't know if her glasses were the wrong prescription. I don't know what was going on. All I know is that if you said that I was worse than Sally last week, let's take it outside, no cameras. Or you can be on camera. Shit, I don't care. I would have been very upset with you, right? But I will say, Celexa was pressed about it, and then she was like, "And I don't give a shit." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she kept bringing it up. I was like, "I think she cares." It was fun for me as a viewer. This was great. Loved it.
Yeah, it was nice to see another side, I guess, to Bonnie, to say, because I was surprised that, I mean, she was kind of hiding a little bit at first, but she did stand her ground. So I do think I want to maybe stand a little bit more on Bonnie's side than Slexus, because like when it comes down to it, like your personal opinion of how someone does in a challenge doesn't necessarily truly matter to them, like per se. Like it doesn't, like I shouldn't have to, after every challenge, go up to every single person and be like, well, today I think you did the worst here and you did the worst here. Like that's very Joella energy, and I'm not trying to give that energy. So it is one thing, but I Alexa asked for it. I think
She did
when
ask,
and
but
Bonnie did tell her. So
I
and then
agree
initially
there.
Bonnie did hesitate, but she did straight up go and be like, "No, okay, I guess I'm not gonna hide. I'll be that is what I said." So like she
Yeah.
stood behind. I do think she stood
Uh,
behind herself. So I do kind of have to. I do kind of feel I might be taking Bonnie's side here.
See, I
I don't think there's
understand that
sides to
point.
take, but I do think I agree with the fact that it did seem like Slexa was just really bothered by this and would not let it go. It was giving me like a was it Q maybe who was doing that a lot in her season where it was like something came up and she'd be like, oh, nothing's wrong, and then like the next day she'd bring it up immediately. I don't remember if it was Q or not. I might just be flaming Q at this moment,
I
but
mean,
there was someone who did that
who
recently, and
cares,
that's
right?
the energy. It doesn't really matter, but
But
it was
I
fun.
have to say that like any hesitation to immediately tell me when I ask you to your face makes me think you're a punk bitch. Like it just does. And I can understand like tripping on the words and then I'm questioning it, but it was like a whole well, and it was like, no, tell me. And I was like, all right. And I'm not for Alexa or Body. I just think it was funny. But I do also think it'll get later into this when we talk about um team whitewash, as I call it. And we can get into that later, but I just thought it was a really fun way to start the episode.
Team whitewash. Not bringing up the Caucasian Royale stuff already, Jack.
Girl,
No.
it's so
Um,
Caucasian Royale. I can't get into it.
you know, the reading challenge happened this episode, which was actually pretty good. I was not expecting it to actually make me chuckle as much as it did. Like there was a few times I did legitimately laugh here, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm more surprised by that, if I'm more surprised by Bones being like really good at reading, or if I'm really shocked that like Bonnie, L, and Page Three sucked at this. But did anything stand out for you?
I think, they said Bones was the quiet girl in this episode, and I think it's always that quiet girl that's there's different types of people who read people, and I'm not necessarily the quiet girl, as you may have known, but when I read someone, I like say it loud, right? A lot of people read in their head and don't say it out loud. And then there are some people who do the I'm reading you, but I'm going to be nice to you first and try to like gently give it to you kind of thing. And I think there's something about that quiet confidence that can happen that's so beautiful because A, you're not expecting it, and B, when it happens, you're a little gagged and you're caught off, right, completely from it. So I think that's why Bones initially wins this. Like she had the girls gooped. She had them gagged, and I loved it. I was like, and you should call everyone out. Do it. Like I love the reading challenge.
Definitely was definitely was one of the better ones that we've had. I think maybe one of the best ones we've had all year, honestly. Maybe in recent memory too. But I also thought Terrace's read for Catherine was funny. I enjoyed that too, especially since apparently they are really dating, which I didn't necessarily get. I got that they were flirting. I didn't get that they were actually like
Oh, girl, they were like doing
legitimately like
stuff.
interested in like having
See,
well because Terrace was like, well, you're locked in a cage, and like you need to get whatever you need to get at that point. And it's like, well, okay, well, it felt like maybe something like short term didn't feel long term. Apparently it's long term. I'm okay. I'm happy for them, but like, it was just I wasn't expecting it. I don't think they're getting the edit that I was expecting them to get. Like, because like Lydia and like Corey were like at least like semi touchy feely showing some PDA in the workroom, right? Katrin and Terrace will be on opposite sides of the workroom half the time. So it's just like you don't even really know. But that's a lot. I mean, other than in Paris and Couture, I didn't really have too much to talk about as far as like interactions. Um, there's some stuff we could definitely talk about when we get to the challenge. But Jack, did you have anything that you want to talk about the girls before we get to the runway?
No, I think the choices of some of the people were interesting, and I have opinions on some of what was going on. I do think some girls should have been told no in the workroom, but here we are. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, I mean this I mean I definitely have words, and we'll definitely get into it when we get to the Snatch Game. But it's also kind of interesting to me that like the ones that like really flopped the reading challenge were the ones that did really well, I guess, in the Snatch Game, and then like the ones that did really bad or did well in the reading challenge did bad in Snatch Game. And then there was Paige who just did bad in both. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the runway again in this week's Yes or Mess. And this week's category is Holiday Ho Ho Ho's Christmas Couture. Jack, did you like this runway category? And who are your standouts and who stood out for the wrong reasons?
You know what? I like this because I think it really gives. Look, we've seen Christmas done a lot. I'm not saying that we haven't, but it is a very broad category because you can also go holiday ho ho ho. So you don't necessarily need to be Christmas. You can just be some kind of December holiday thing. So like people think of Kwanzaa, people think of Hanukkah.
Well, it
You
did say
know,
Christmas Couture.
Yes, but it was holiday ho ho ho's Christmas couture. If someone had come out there in like a menorah kind of look, they would have accepted it, right? If it had been a dreidel, I
Mm,
think we've
they probably
seen this
would have
before.
accepted Kwanzaa. They would have accepted Hanukkah. They wouldn't have accepted Kwanzaa.
Well, that's why I did not mention the Kwanzaa outfits. I specifically was like dreidel, menorah. Like I wasn't gonna do that one because then like it just wasn't the look, and they look over there like, yes, menorah girl, you're killing it. It's like, bitch. So on Caucasian Royale, it is only Christmas though. So that being said, I think everyone took the category except for one girl. And surprisingly, I couldn't even put her at my last place because this bitch looked better than the other two. And I was like, I
Ooh,
can't believe. So let's talk about the good first because there's going to be a lot of negative. Tayrus looked good. She's been slowly getting better on the runway. Celexa looked great. She's kind of hit or miss, but she's generally pretty good. Page 3 looks amazing. This look from page 3 was so much fun. Nutcracker, but make it her own. And I think this is where things start to really be different with girls is Celexa, I think, really kind of gave me her drag in this Winter Wonderland outfit. She's got the big boobs, she's got the big fur collar. She loves doing these like a little less skimpy than page 3 for the most part looks, if you're gonna be honest. It's like ho, but make it fashion kind of moments. Um, Now page 3 over here is just like, so I'm a nutcracker and I'm gonna take it real far with the nutcracking. It's like BDSM, some chains and whips. I was like, okay, like she got fun into it. It was very cool, it was very kooky. But I think the number one girl who did it here was Bones. It just this Mrs. Claus kind of bullshit is like it's so good. I loved every part of this. She looked great. She looked phenomenal. She had clearly the most fabric on than anyone else, and it just she looked correct from head to toe. So did page 3. So did the other two girls. Pretty much looked great, but that leaves us with the whitewash squad. So, Team Whitewash.
no.
We're gonna start from the best to the worst. So Bonnie and Clyde doesn't fit the theme. Bonnie and Clyde looks like she made a outfit in the workroom for a make your own like outfit challenge. Like this is a design challenge, and she got the gold box. So she has to make something out of gold fabric, right? Like you can be like, oh well, there's a bow on the one shoulder. It's basic. Oh well, there's gold is a great color for holidays. And I was like, okay, but could I tell it was a holiday theme from her look? No. No, I could not. And neither could you, so don't tell me you could. You just could not. Baby, this was a piece of fabric. Let me tell you about this. Piece of fabric, a lot of yardage. Then she sewed the hem together to make that outline you kind of see on blankets or quilts, where they just flap over the fabric and tuck it in, so that way it has like a nice border. So she has this very thick border around this. She wraps it around her body nicely, you know, does a little scrunchie here with the material, makes it a knot, puts something over it, does a little scrunchie here on the shoulder so it's asymmetrical, puts a bow over it so you can't see how it looks. And she takes those extra pieces of fabric, makes the bow to put over it, and makes the little bow in her hair, and said, "Ta-da!" Mind you, we could see her panties if they were at all like there. And so it was just kind of like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, did anyone understand what we were doing? I didn't see what we were doing. I saw her goddamn panties made out of the same exact material. She didn't look great. She looked one of the best she's looked on the runway, but that's not saying much. And so it wasn't really given anything. It was actually taking. I felt like the category was taken away when I looked at this look, and I was whatever. The shoes are fine. Let me give her her moment. Her shoes are fine. They work with the outfit. I should give her something for credit. She looks good. It's just she's not in the category. Now, number 2 from the bottom, Katrin Feelings. She's been here a lot. She knows what she's doing. But she, I think, unfairly got told that her outfit was more costume than drag. I think this is drag. I just think she looks cheap. Her fabrics are cheap. They look a little crafty. You totally know this Nutcracker looks kind of fun. The makeup is terrible. Someone said her makeup looks like the jigsaw face, and I was like, yeah, you're right. The hair is bad. But I'm not saying you need a lot of money to do good drag or anything, but it does help, clearly. And I'm not saying that her outfit was terrible. It's just, it was really unfortunate that there was another Nutcracker there. It's kind of like Celexa versus Tayrus, except neither of them look terrible. Right, and everyone else had a different
Right.
things. But when you saw Page 3 come out and then you saw Catherine, you were like, ooh, that's unfortunate. They should have done her right and showed her before Page 3 at the very least. But editing wanted to make that nasty. So Catherine's down there because her outfit looks cheap. It is a little costumey, but it's not more costume than drag, in my opinion. I think that's an unfair critique. That being said, this is a sin upon all sins. I have never in my life had to deal with the monstrosity of the whitewash squad bullshit that I have to every fucking time we get up to this runway and Elle Vosk is there for up her cheeks. I said, God damn, this is a hot ass mess. No one in the world could ever convince me that this look was good. She said, oh, it was based on this other look. I said, whatever you base it on, do not tell anyone you base it on my look, because what you did right here was considered neglect, abuse to the fabric, whatever was going on here. I am offended the way it was on her body. It was ugly, and I don't even know. There's not a strong enough word. Ugly is not enough. It was just poorly presented, bad execution, bad delivery, bad outfit. I said, "Oh, so we're going to do that cotton. We're doing that candy cane thing that we've seen girls do a million times before." I think the first time I remember it really going crazy was on season 5 when Jinx Monsoon did it, and it was a mess. And this is just so awful. But the audacity of the judges had to say, "You look gorgeous and beautiful." And this, meanwhile, it is the ugliest thing you've ever seen. I was like, is the category ugliest outfit or outfit that didn't work? Make an outfit by putting things on you? Like, I didn't understand. It was ugly. It should be burned at the stake.
She's going for ugliest Christmas couture, Jack. That's why.
She was not going for ugliest Christmas tour. She thought she looked good. Someone told her she looked fly. Someone told her she looked beautiful. Someone lied to her many a times, let me tell you.
The
I'm not going to say the whole
judges?
thing.
Who?
The judges definitely lied to her many a times. And so did anyone else in that workroom that said she looked good. And to be offended later on when people told her she didn't look good was crazy. Crazy.
Well, I'm very excited to get to the end of this podcast because I have some questions for you, Jack. But let's talk about one thing here first, because this week's Snatch Game, Wasn't really a Snatch Game. Obviously, it
No.
was like a more of like a variant of like Snatch Game and Snatch Game of Love, which is fine. I do think the benefit to the Snatch Me Out format is if they're going to do like this whole love thing, whatever, at least all the girls are on the stage at the same time, you know? I do think it's
Yeah,
harder
sure.
to really play off of each other though. Like it didn't feel like there was much
Yeah, it
interaction
was.
outside of when they had their question. So I didn't
Mhm.
really like that. But I did like
No,
the fact that Jordan North was the Snatchler. He was pretty hot at the
that was
same
great.
time.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
That was my
what
favorite
were your
part of the
thoughts on the
Snatch
format
Game.
switch?
It wasn't great. It also didn't matter, I think, in this. I think we got the exact result that still would have happened regardless. But I think what happened here is a little bit of bullshit to some extent, though. Only because, the Snatcher literally picked Tayrus at one point, and they made it seem like Tayrus did bad on the runway critiques of it. So I was like, I don't understand how we thought she did bad. It wasn't the best, but easily was in the middle. I don't think Celexa did bad either, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're in the middle." Like that was pretty simple. It was really easy for us to see like page 3 and Bones were going to end up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde, Katrin and Alvosk all choosing pretty good characters, people we've all seen before, except maybe Bonnie Tyler. I don't know if we've seen her before,
No, I
but
don't think we've seen the Bonnie Tyler choice. I think it
but we
was.
hadn't seen Bonnie Tyler this time either, though. So I mean, we still haven't seen Bonnie Tyler. If we're
I
gonna keep it
mean,
100,
we
if we're gonna
kind
keep
of
it 100,
did,
we saw a mix between Katrin feelings and Bonnie Tyler phrases. So, and
which is fine. Like,
I
that's
have
not.
no hate. The girls who were like
There's other
acting
people
like
that
she
have
did the
not been
best, I was like,
themselves
no.
completely in character with the
I,
situation. I bought it. I don't. I'm not judging it that hard
I didn't have a
on
problem with
that.
it.
I thought she
What
was
I
fine.
have a problem with is the constant Katrin can do no wrong as long as she uses her Welsh accent. Meanwhile, the literal critique for Tayrus was, well, I think she did this character so she could use her Jamaican accent. And I was like, why is this always a constant? One girl's allowed to do it and one girl's not allowed to do it. I'm trying to figure that one out.
I
And then,
mean, I was a little surprised Harris wasn't in the top. Like, I felt she should have been top three, especially because she had one of her. Like, she was one of the people that were chosen. But also, Alexa was too. So, I mean, that doesn't really matter. But like, I thought it would play some sort of role into it because it does somewhat in like the Snatch Games of Love, right? I think there's only been like maybe one time where they've not had the girl who was picked be a top in the challenge, but yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I do agree and I don't agree because I do feel like the top three in my eyes were correct, and I don't think Taurus was low, and there's only 7 people, so someone has to be low with uh, the bottom two, and the bottom two is pretty clear. So it was like,
Yeah.
well, like of the
Well,
five, yeah, if we're going just based off Snatch Game, I do agree with it. If we're going to include the runway, maybe this could have been some time where we could have maybe given Katrin a critique on, or Elle a critique on their outfit or whatnot.
no, we can't
Especially
because Elle's the
because,
best thing ever. Elle is
well,
the greatest thing since sliced bread, girl.
I
I'm
did think her
telling
JoJo
you.
Siwa was pretty hilarious.
Her
She
Judges
was
one was
making me laugh.
good. Let me
She
say,
was. It was. There was certain things about it though that it didn't feel as nuanced. Of like it felt like she did kind of play the same card over and over again. It was a funny card that she was playing, so it worked for her because JoJo Siwa was just her in general is just she's just a goofy person, right?
yeah.
So like it worked for her, but it was kind of also one note in a lot of ways if we
Well,
really think about it. Like she was giving
I
funny notes, but
agree with
there wasn't
you.
any levels.
But I don't have a problem with her performance, and I don't have a problem with Bonnie and Clyde or Catch and Feelings. I do think they were the top three. I don't think that's really debatable. What I have a problem with is Snatch Game as a whole now, because this is like the 17th time we've seen someone do Cher, and this time we saw Cher as a chair, and every single joke was, yeah, and then I will make it about a different piece of furniture or something,
I
which is
mean, it was
fine.
creative. It was
It
horrible
was
though.
creative, but
I did hate it. I thought she was
hear
going to
me
be in the
out.
bottom and be eliminated when
I
the
didn't think
idea
she was
came
gonna be.
out.
There was
No, I
no
get you because
way.
I was questioning the idea too. I was like, when this was happening, I was like, this doesn't feel like Snatch Game, where
Well,
you're a
my
chair. You're not even being really chair. You're a chair. So now we're gonna be like people that sound like the celebrity, and we could be like our own version of the celebrity.
Well, and that's kind of my issue. Is I was like, it's okay to do your own version of celebrity. It's okay to make it like your own, but this is not making it your own. This is straight up being like, I'm a chair that sounds like Cher. And here's the other thing that really gets to me is I still thought it was a great performance. Don't get me wrong, but at what point do we call it like too much is too much? Because we have Paige doing Alexa. We've seen people do things like this. We've seen Gigi do the Sophie, the first like AI robot human person, right? Like we have seen plenty of people like do something out of the world or something that doesn't technically exist, like Alexa or Tooth Fairy, for example. Like we've seen things
We
like this.
saw the Eiffel Tower this year, Jack.
I know,
Nothing
I
is
know,
going
I
to be
know.
more egregious to me this year than the Eiffel Tower. I'm sorry.
But but my point is, at what point are we gonna stop making it actually Snatch Game and just admit it's whatever you can do to make it funny, regardless of if it made sense? Like it really is just getting to this point where you can straight up do anything. Like I'm really getting to this point where I'm like, I'm gonna go act like a broom now, and I'm gonna talk about sweeping and dusting and my relationship with the mop, and now how
But
I'm in a
you have to
relationship
be a
with the bucket.
specific broom. You have to be a specific broom. You have to be like the
Well, I
brooms from like
know.
Fantasia, like Mickey Mouse's broom from
No, no,
that
no,
or
no, no,
something.
no, no,
Like
no. I'm gonna straight up just steal someone else's name. It's gonna be really close to broom, and I'm gonna be like, cool, that's my name now. I'm broom. It's something like that. It's like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad performance, but it really begs the question: what are we doing? What is Snatch Game
yeah,
really about anymore? And so for me, I'm confused. But regardless of all of that, we get the correct bottom two and the correct top three, I think. Right?
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any way we could kind of dispute that the people that did make us laugh the most were the JoJo Siwa, the Bonnie Tyler, and the chair.
Well,
As
the
much as
chair
it's
made me
stupid,
sit there, but it was funnier
the
than
chair
other
was
girls.
funny. The chair was funny.
Yeah, I'll give her.
The chair
I
was
I did not
really
find her
funny, and
funny,
I did think that
but
she
I
had
love
a
that for
lot.
everyone else.
I mean, the thing with her, and maybe we just saw more of her, but she did have a lot of things prepared for this. So, just the fact that she had so many comebacks just ready on, like, just without like even thinking, just being like ready at the quip to go. I do think we have to give her credit for that because that is difficult. That's not easy. That's difficult. I mean, she had a lot too. We saw a lot of responses. She had. I want to say she was the only person we saw a response from her like every single time. But
Yeah, that wasn't for any reason.
but
Um,
I mean, like she did a good job. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna hate on Elle as much as like it's a thing where it's like yes, I do agree that these are the like three of the queens that I probably maybe probably would not have drug this far here. But
no,
like I can't deny the fact that this episode they did do well because just like the bottom two they were just undeniably bad. Like
no,
there's
no,
no
and I
excuses at all for the way that Bones did that. Like Liam Gallagher was just a terrible choice to begin with. She could have. There's so many other people I feel like she could have done. For her, it was a terrible choice. It wasn't
I
maybe a
think
terrible choice for some other people who might not get in their head so quickly, but for her, I think it was a terrible choice. I don't think
I
anything she
just
did landed. I don't think she was as prepared as she thought she was. Nor do I think that like the character really. I just don't think it worked for her at all.
I don't think any character would have worked. If I'm being honest with her, I don't think any character would have worked for Bones because I just think she psyched herself out from the I'm not good enough to do this. And she's like clearly done this before in her head. She's clearly done this. I'm not going to be good enough. And that's her problem. It's that inner saboteur thing, right? And that's going to be like a part of her like thing. But what I found really difficult was just like this was the one week, finally, where it doesn't feel like I'm being forced to accept that the people are top three. It's like it happened naturally. This is the only time this whole season I feel like it's been natural.
And it ends up with the result of like two of the people that we're rooting for being in the bottom together.
Yes, yes,
That's why
and
it
very
sucks, and I get
unfortunate.
that. I get that completely. But it's like you can't look at it and be like it's because of the production, though. It
No,
sucks
this
that this
episode,
is the result that they
but we
finally
would not have
decided to
gotten here.
do it correctly. That this is the
We
result that
would
we get.
not have gotten here if it wasn't for production being bullshit all season. Here's the tea. Those three girls would not all be here. Maybe one or two, but not all three. And I can guarantee you that. I would put
No,
that
for
on my
sure.
life.
No, for sure.
And I
Absolutely.
think another big issue is like the way that they have been playing in other girls' face. Like I've said it multiple times. Viola, I said page three, I said how they were playing in Bones's face. Like the way that they play in the face of and this is gonna get a little personal, but the way that they play in the other girls' face, how if you're I'm gonna say it. If you're expected to be a comedy queen because you're not a fashion or a looks girl, guess what? You are expected to do so little in comparison. If you are a looks girl, bitch, the standard you have set for yourself is too high. And I don't care what you think or feel. The truth of the matter is, because facts don't matter about your feelings or anything, the truth of the fact is they have given Elle and Katrin and everyone else like any kind of privilege in this season to just basically give us anything on the runway, nothing spectacular in the challenges, and still be given praise because they didn't come out in the worst thing possible. They're like, oh, you had an outfit? Congratulations, you're a winner. And I was like, what the fuck? Because at this point, why are we even doing runways?
Right. No, I
Why do we
agree.
do runways?
If there's no point in having them there if we're just going to disregard them at all or not give critiques to people who don't necessarily have terrible runways but we're upset at their makeup, aka a reason why we're being upset at Terrace because she needs to fix her makeup. But
I mean,
everything about Ella is the only good thing about Ella is her makeup for the
right,
most part half the
her
time.
performing
But
like in the challenges sometimes is good, but that's the only two times that she has won. I don't agree with her wins, and also, and more importantly than that, um, she just has been pushed upon us to the point of like it's sickening.
I mean, I was gonna lead or I was gonna end with this, but we could just start with this now, and maybe we could just end with a memorial service for page three. But I wanted to talk about the fact that at this point, because Bonnie ends up winning this challenge, and Bonnie and Clyde and Elvas are now sitting at 2 wins with no bottoms. The queen that I think a lot of us were going into rooting for, which is Bones, has 1 win, 2 bottoms, right? Katrin and Taylor still have not been able to get a win at all, and Slexa is just literally all over the freaking place. So, like, are we really possibly looking at a Bonnie and Clyde versus Elvas final two at this point? Because that is what all signs are leading to me at this point.
That is what it's feeling like. And here's the other thing it's feeling like. We are bringing Katrin feeling and Tayrus Mangardi to the point in which they will have to lip sync against each other just for the drama, right? At this point. And so either we're going to get a Katrin sends home Tayrus somehow, or Tayrus sends home Katrin at like top five, so that way we can have a queen of color in the top four. And you cannot tell me that that's not the prediction or like the truth of the matter is. Like, I think right now it's kind of a lock for a lot of the girls. Like, I think Bonnie and Al are locked in, can't compare like completely. I think we're kind of going to get this either Bones or Celexa. I'm leaning towards Bones though. So it's just, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, it feels like all signs are pointing to one of those two winning. I can't really put. I mean, if I'm going based off of story, Bonnie hasn't had a story at all, so maybe that's why Elle beats her in the end. But like, they both have had passes where I feel like they should have been in the bottom and they haven't been.
Easily.
And I don't want to discredit both of their wins because I do think they have deserved a win here and there.
Bonnie has.
Elle
And
deserved the win in the Rusical. I don't.
no.
I don't care what you
Mm-mm.
say. I do believe
Al
that
was
she
worse than
won.
Bones and Page 3, and
I
it's up
don't
to you, Mama.
know. That's. I mean, that's fine. That's a valid perspective. But from my perspective, I think Elle kind of deserved it. It was the first time I actually saw her, but like, I don't see her enough to the point where she's the front runner at this point. But um,
Well, you wouldn't
I
see
think
her at all if we were judging correctly because she wouldn't be here still, but you know.
I mean, in my opinion, she probably wouldn't be here at this point if I was doing the judging. But let's circle back for just 2 seconds again. Talk about this bottom two again with Bones in page three, and we get this lip sync to "Tainted Love," and I realized upon watching this lip sync that I really don't like this song. There's something about the way that I don't even remember who the singer of this song is. I don't know. Um, but I don't like the way he sings it. It was I don't know. But the reason why I say that is because like this is clearly not like a trick stunt song. This is very much so like an actual performance song. So in that aspect, I did like it, and
Yeah.
I did like the fact that Bones is a queen that I think thrives more under this more so than a cat song. So I did like the fact she did get this moment to kind of shine here. I do think that in a lot of ways Paige was kind of a little bit hindered by her outfit. I don't know why she didn't just like rip the mustache off or whatever or like take it off and untucked because like clearly you're gonna be in the bottom, girl. Like that Alexa that Alexa performance was rough. Like I like the idea of it, but I think the issue is like it flashes back to like Asia O'Hara's Beyonce or many of other performances,
Yeah.
a mistress from All Stars 10 most recently probably, where it's just like you just go just angry. And a lot of the times when you're just angry and mad with your character, it doesn't resonate
I
super
mean,
well,
Mistresses was funny,
unfortunately.
but I think what the
Mistresses
real
was
issue
fine, but I don't know if it was that
it was
funny.
funny, and because
Well,
that
well,
is
well. That
she
was
played
for
that
another day,
character.
though. That's for another. That was for a podcast we did months ago, though, Jack. But
Okay, but
it's
the point is,
Same
it's
idea.
not to me, and I got to tell you, this is why, because Alexa was like a great character choice, and I don't think it was just anger. I think she was just shutting down everything. The problem was she wasn't able to let go in the moment, and she wasn't allowing herself to have fun. I think that's the real issue. Like Mistress had a lot of fun, so that's where I think it's like a very different. So I just think that's like an important thing to remember.
I mean,
Like
fair. You're very fair. It's like
Paige is just
Paige was
not.
not having fun, and once she realized she was bombing, she
She,
stopped having fun at all and shut down
yeah.
completely. She turned her power button off. It was
Bones
like, woo, shut
Bones
down.
did the worst version of being like, I shut off the button before I even got there, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, and that's definitely been something she's been notorious for as far as her like talent show, and that's why I'm very nervous because I'm just like, Bones was the only person I was really rooting for up to this point. Like I liked Taris, I liked Celexa, but I don't know if I'm getting enough of her personality. Like she's not coming off as someone like super likable, and I don't know if that's her fault or the edit or just like the situations or just the fact that like
Oh,
she is stressed. I don't know, but I'm not vibing with like her as
I
much as
love
I
her
want
breastplate.
to. I want to vibe with her more than I am, but I'm just like there's just something that like she's both over edited and under edited at the same time, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like she's someone who has like big moments, but unlike other people, when you know that like they have moments, they're not giving their opportunity to explain. And that's something you always need to look for in edits is when are they giving people that are like coming off negatively the opportunity to explain themselves? And sometimes she does, I don't think she does a lot of the time, or if she does get the opportunity to explain herself, there's three or four more people, or she's sandwiched in between like negative things about her and what she's saying, right? So it's just it still doesn't read well, and I'm still not feeling like I know who she is. I'm just I'm really I'm struggling. I'm struggling, Jack, and I'm really sad that Paige is gone because like it's
Paige should have been top four.
uh,
So
she definitely lost the lip sync,
yeah,
but
she lost the listening, but she
she should.
shouldn't.
It doesn't feel like she should be going home here at all.
I
Seventh
would
place
have,
out of 12. Like what is going on this week? First in a bowl and up Paige. Like what? What?
girl. If you're anyone with prettiness in your face, you're not winning, baby. All tea, all shade. Like, I'm so sorry, but every pretty girl's getting did dirty. It's tea. Sorry, not sorry. Like, this week, she deserved to be in the bottom. Yeah, sure. But it's not tea. That, like, this judging this whole season, except for this episode, except for this specific episode, pretty much has been a flop.
Because it's like even if who went home last week? Sally. If Sally was here this week, she would have flopped. She easily would
True.
have flopped here. I don't think she would have done well. So she easily could have been eliminated here. And it's also a situation where it's like, okay, well, if like Chai, who was eliminated the week before that, if she was here, she probably would have flopped too. So it's like, okay, well, like all the buffers in a lot of ways, I wouldn't say buffers, but it's like, a lot of the people that didn't do terribly, but they didn't see as actual winner potential. I'm not gonna call them filler queens, but in the eyes of production, that's probably what they feel like they are. That's kind of what that felt like. I mean, like young Bella is someone that I feel like they definitely felt was filler. Again, we've talked about this several times
Definitely.
already up to this point, and she's without a doubt the star of the season at this point, as far as the personality goes. So it's just like I
Well, and I
just
have to
don't know
wonder,
what they're thinking. I don't
with
get it.
we've talked about now that like Bones and Paige should get in their head or whatnot, but I'm like, would they be this bad if they were treated if the judging was better? Would they really lower themselves or feel like they're so low on themselves if we weren't constantly raising up mediocrity at times? I don't know.
Or if
Like,
things were on an even perspective, like you said, where we're not calling out girls for having terrible runways, but if someone who has great runways is terrible in a challenge, we're making sure that they know that they did bad. It just doesn't feel equal. There's definitely a agenda to the season. I think we can all say that at this point now. It feels like it definitely it's giving me the moment that like we went on to purple bracket and all stars 10, right, where like, there was that ickiness that like seeped in, but like this has been the whole season how this has felt. So it's just this is it's been kind of fun to talk about, but also at the same time though, like I'm just dreading every single moment that we have to go back. Like next week we have the makeovers. The
ugh.
makeovers.
Watch Elvas be a winner in the makeover. I'll scream. I will scream when she comes out with the worst look. She might actually look good for the second time on the runway or third time, maybe. But rough. Very rough.
Bones will be in the bottom two.
Bones.
This
If Bones doesn't get the win, I'm gonna be
Bones will be in
shocked.
the bottom two. It'll be a Bones selects the bottom two.
If
I
Bones or Selector in the
can
bottom
say
two, I'm gonna be very
it.
confused. Because I'm gonna look over there and be like, all right, now you know that Elle, Bonnie, and Katrin are all here still, right? They're like, yeah, they did amazing. I'm gonna be like, girl.
I wonder if actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and now that we're saying it out loud, is that reason why that they're still here to provide buffer for Elle? Because
Maybe
we know. I mean,
Bonnie's
Katrin
gonna
knows
be here
herself that
though.
it sucked. We
Terrace
know
versus Katrin in the makeover.
Bonnie should be bottom
Oh,
two,
and
like for
Celeste goes home the
sure.
next week. Mm.
Oh,
Is the final challenge gonna be like a branding challenge or a design challenge? And we'll finally have to. Well, at some point, Elle has to hit the bottom too, just for her to have like a story of like, I was doing so well, but like I tripped and fell, and I'm human like everyone else. Kind of, how they
Cersei
love that
though.
moment.
The other UK winners haven't.
Not all of them.
When did Kyron Thrax fall? When
Um, she
did
fell on the
the
bottom.
Deval was the Deval bottom two?
Laval was
Did
in the bottom before, but not. but she also wasn't technically the winner. But you
Right.
know,
But
like
same, like
every
did Danny Beard lip sync?
I believe so. Crystal
I
Versace
don't.
did. The
Well,
Vivian
yeah.
did.
I
Let's
don't think a
see.
lot of the people lip sync on
All
UK though.
at least the
Let me
first
look.
three girls have.
Let me look. Let
And
me just really look, just so I could like be official about it. Because I don't want to be making up facts on the
I can
spot
guarantee you that
as much as I want to.
more than half of the winners had to lip
I'm
sync at some point for the bottom two.
we're gonna go through this whole thing right now. I'm on the wiki at the moment, and I'm stalling for time, but we're gonna look at this moment here right
I
now.
can tell you 1, 2, and 3 guaranteed. 4, 5. I'm no 5 definitely did,
Because I'm
right?
pretty sure I don't think 4, 5, or 6 did.
No, 5 had to have, right?
Because no, Kyron Thrax did not lip sync at
Karen
all.
Thax in the bottom two, wasn't she?
Kyron Thrax was never bottom two. Win, safe,
Okay.
win, high, safe,
Ginger
win, high,
Ginger
high,
Johnson
safe,
never.
winner. Ginger Johnson also was never in the bottom. I don't think Danny Beard was also never in the bottom because she was like trading wins back and forth with uh Cheddar.
Oh, you're right. Okay, well,
So
half of the
yeah.
girls have been.
So it's
So
been
we've
this
been
thing where
seeing.
they have since season
Yeah,
4, 5, and 6
actually.
is a thing where they have a top two of queens that just go back and forth with each other, where it's like they really want this thing where they have like this competitive top two, right? And that is what we're seeing. That's
So
why
we
I'm
got
like,
Bonnie
is it
versus
Bonnie and
Elle.
Elle at this moment? Because that's what it's giving. I would say I feel like if we're going story wise, I do feel like Bones is being much more propped up in the edit and feels more visible, even though she's much more quiet than Bonnie is. At least I kind of know what Bones' story is. I don't know what Bonnie's story is. So, like, that makes me a little worried for Bonnie in comparison. And I do think Bones had a much stronger start. So, I don't want to count Bones out either. I just don't know if Bones could win. Like, I'm really trying to figure out, like, how does the only way I feel
Bones
like Bones
isn't
wins
winning.
is if they officially can like look
Get
at
rid of Elle.
what is happening
Nope.
at the thing and like judge Elle for what she is and like if she is in
They
the bottom
won't.
for the out of the makeover, whatever this final five challenge is. Otherwise, I don't see how Elle loses. I just
She
don't.
wasn't in the bottom for a runway challenge, girl. She wasn't in the bottom for the design challenge. There's no way they're putting Elle ever in the bottom.
I'm not saying that I don't feel that way the same way too. I'm just saying like how I'm trying to imagine a world though. Like okay, what if? Right? Like if I'm producing the season, whatever, and my goal is to make it seem like Elle is the early winner, and then someone else actually wins. Like, how do we do that? Is there any way that the end of this season can be saved? I wouldn't say saved, but yeah, saved in a lot of
Well,
ways
save,
because
save is the
really,
correct word.
Elle probably wouldn't have been here if we were judging at this point. I think if a lot of people were
No,
judging, Elle probably wouldn't have been
Elle would have gone
approaching
home
this
like
point.
episode 1 or
And it's
2,
not to say
girl.
Elle still doesn't deserve it isn't doing well now, but like as you famously say, Jack, anybody who's been on the show for 7 or 8 episodes bound to do something right sometimes. So
Yep.
it's I go back and forth because it's like in my head, yes, Elle would not probably be here if I was judging, yes, but I can't hate on the fact that she's doing well when she's giving the opportunity by other people.
Sure.
But
But
that is what the essence of the whole season
I mean,
is it should be fair.
the whole season's a fraud, mama. It's just a fraud.
I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I feel like I could, as much as I hate talking about it, I feel like I could talk about this
Because
forever
hate
because
brings
it's
people
just,
together more than
it
anything
really
else, girl.
does. It
I'm
does. Oh
telling
my
you, that's
God,
the lesson we learned.
we're literally Ferran and Daphne right now from Espana. Oh my God.
No, we're not. We're not them.
Well,
Neither
I
of us
mean,
look as pretty as Daphne. Let's be honest.
uh, but neither of us don't look as bad as Ferran. But I mean, oops. Sorry. Anyway, people
Damn,
Mm.
catching
that was
strays
so
in the
mean. You
UK
did not need to do
podcast.
that. That was fucked up. I
Says
would never be
you.
mean to someone like that.
Well, Jack, I'll give you the final words here because I mean, we've kind of already said it, but like, is there any
Whitewash
way
that.
that anybody else is going to take the crown other
No,
than Elbosk at this moment? Should we just
no.
fast forward a couple weeks? Should we not even watch the
Fast. Well,
episodes?
I'm going to watch because I have a job to do here, and it's tell the tea. But I mean, is there any chance of anyone else winning? No. No, there's not.
Uh, I hate that we live in this timeline right now. I just, it's so sad that, I mean, like, I don't know. I see a world where the season could be just so good, but I feel like maybe I did speak into existence the season 7 curse, and if it actually does occur and really happen, I'm just gonna take full credit for it because I believe I said it first. Thank you. And
I don't believe in this season 7 curse. It's the UK curse, girl.
it's
UK has always been like this. It's been
it's
rough for a couple seasons now. Come on.
it hasn't, I wouldn't say rough, but it's been predictable, extremely predictable. And I'm not gonna even say like last year, top 2 was
Season 5
deserved,
was
but like
like,
the formula was there. Season 5 gave a very similar format to that other formula. I can't. I went to watch season 5 and I could not. I couldn't actually like get into it. Like I kind of stopped. Like before I even got through all the walkthroughs and the work and the runway. Um, Season 4 was also very reminiscent of season 6. Actually, I think I like season 4 a little bit better, but still very reminiscent of season 6. And then we have 1, 2, and 3, which are good seasons. No, 1 and 2 are good seasons. 3,
I don't think
I
3 is necessarily a bad season. The outcome isn't great,
I
though.
don't really like 3. 3 is another season I haven't ever rewatched. Ever. I haven't rewatched 2, but that's because it's one of those seasons that I'm saving for like an actual like moment in time. Like when we get to like season 12 and I could be like 10 years later the season 2 rewatch for the first time. That's one of those seasons. But like when and to imagine actually being 10 years out from COVID is actually crazy too. But we're also getting off the point. But
Yeah, you're rambling.
no,
Get it
you're
done.
rambling, girl. So let's go ahead and at this point just say the words that we're all thinking at this point.
Congratulations,
We
Elboss.
all
It's over
can't,
now. Bye.
right? And we all can't wait for this to be over. And
I
hopefully y'all
cannot.
can't either, especially if you made it this long. Thanks again so much for listening. Drop a like if you enjoyed yourself. Subscribe as well. Make sure you're always up on future content and comment below as well. Let us know your thoughts on this season. And anybody who wants to make any sort of like comments about race and whatnot, and that says that we're like being tone deaf or whatnot, go ahead and watch that promo video that they went and released about like everything great about Drag Race UK when they didn't feature one queen of color. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. But until next time, and on behalf of my co-caster QuackrrJack, this is
Caucasian Royale.
Renegade
It's not you.
signing
It's not
out.
UK.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Next time on Caucasian Royale, plus Terrace Mungardi. But on behalf of my co-caster QuackrrJack, this is Renegade signing out. Remember, keep spelling that T, y'all. Bye.
Bye.